Greetings everybody, welcome back to the Lindsay channel. So I wanted to do a review of this backpack. It's the Ulanzi BP09 and I might actually be returning this, and I wanted to do a review just really quick, just to go over some of the pros and cons, what I liked, what I disliked, why I'm returning it, all that stuff. I generally use Pelican cases, and I'm trying to find a system where I can carry everything in one case, or the kind of a whole setup in one case. I generally carry the Pelican, but I can't fit a laptop in it with the other stuff I have, so I've been carrying a backpack with me. So I thought maybe I'll try out a backpack and try and fit everything into one backpack and then carry, one setup with me. So I started with this one. I think this is a little too small for me, but let me show you what's going on. I have the iPad mini that has this, pocket on the outside, and I can fit an iPad mini in here sort of okay. I can't zip it all the way up. I generally will carry my laptop charger in here. The more I fit in here, the more the bag expands out and the less you can fit in the outer pockets. So that's something to keep in mind with this. I will say right now that the bag is very ruggedly made. It feels super premium. It feels really good. It's a really, really cool bag. I think generally the reason I'm going to be returning this is because of the size. But overall, yeah, it's a really cool bag. One of the things I do wish is they had a carrying handle or a pull handle on the back, sort of like I have this old Low Pro that has this one here, and I generally grab this out of my car really often, or if you put it in an overhead compartment or something. I like having both sides. It's really handy. This one has these like tripod ends, so you could probably grab it by this, but for some reason, I've only had this for 2 weeks, so haven't gotten totally used to it, but grabbing this way versus grabbing this way is weird to me. But you do have these on here for carrying whatever, tripod or something. You have them on the sides as well, so you can have a tripod here. I don't generally love this hook style because when you've got this like a tripod in here or something in here and you've cinched it down, you then have to, I guess you can pull it back this way, but then you got to pull it back out that way. I'd rather just unclip something and have it just like pop apart. That's kind of nicer for me. I also feel like this thing is going to break easy. It's pretty interesting design, but it's not really for me. On the outside here, you have a pocket as well that you can fit. They say water bottles and stuff, but it has this weird stretchy thing. I don't entirely love the design on this pocket. So you have this fold in here, and then you can like really stretch out this thing and stick a water bottle in here. But I feel like over time, the way this is designed, this is just going to get super loose and not hold your stuff in quite as well. Maybe, only time will tell. But there's also one of these exact same things on the other side, which I have a little battery case in here. There's another stand or tripod mount on the other side, so it's basically mirrored on the other side. The only thing that isn't mirrored is the zipper. This side does not have a zipper. This other side does have a zipper, so you can quickly access your camera. I don't generally care about accessing my camera while it's on my body. I want this backpack to be a kind of home base, if you will. I want to set it down, open the very back up, and be able to get to everything there. I'm not walking around and grabbing stuff, so that may or may not be a deal breaker for you or something cool for you. The thing, there's another zipper inside here that has little battery pouches, which are kind of rad, but they do take up a lot of room. So if you start putting batteries in here and then you put something else in here, it really starts pushing in on the case. So you're pushing in this way. It doesn't expand outward very well, which is a durability feature. So that's kind of nice that it's so durable and rugged and form factor that it's not going to be super malleable, but it does start pushing in on your gear. So that's something to keep in mind of. So you have this little pouch here. You have your backpack straps, your standard sternum mount. You have these little D-rings. This is one of the things I think is kind of cool, is when you pull these down, you can feed these through here, and then you can clip something off of here, which is semi-handy. Some backpacks just have it sewn and then it's just there dangling, but this gives you a little bit of utility, which I really like. There's like little hooks all over the place. You can hook through here. There's just tons of little hooks and things, which is really, really cool. And they do feel very sturdy made, sturdy sewn and all that stuff. Another handle up here, which feels very sturdy. Oh, and this handle here, chef's kiss, man. Like, this is the best thing on backpacks. Like, if I get another backpack, I'm gonna get probably the BP10 because it's a little bigger. But this is amazing. Just having this, not having to hoof it off your back, is just awesome. And then you have your zipper pulls. Your zipper pulls are really cool. They're large enough that you can just get a finger in here. They have these plastic little things around the end. Good zipper pulls. I don't know. They're really good zippers. I like them. They have pretty much all the zippers. You have your mesh stuff here. Oh, there's also a trolley pass-through or a handle, which a lot of people use it as a handle. That's cool. There's just, you know, tons of handles on here. It's freaking awesome. And then you have your inner pockets, which the inner part is kind of like the dimensions they measure, I think, are these dimensions here and here, but it actually tapers down. So the usable dimensions are a little bit smaller, which is kind of sad. So I have all this in here. I'll sometimes put another lens in here. What I want to do is fit another 80-200 in here, and I can, but then it takes up, there's just a little sliver of space kind of around that I really can't fit much else into because of the taper. So if you look at this, you can see how much taper there is. There's about an inch worth of taper down this way. So really you get about this much room. So I can fit a 200 Pro in here, but then there's just weird space for other things. That's the one thing, my sort of complaint about this backpack is there's weird spaces because of the taper. So I have a charger in here and a little hard drive, but then like I could put something in here, but just because it's angled this way, there's, you know, I'm already hitting the usefulness of the space at the very bottom, but then I have a tiny bit of space left here at the top that if I start putting more stuff in, then it just wedges the Velcro apart, and that gets a little annoying. The camera slot here is definitely big enough to pull in and out a full-size DSLR, but then you have this weird space here, which, I mean, I've been putting my trigger. The only problem with mine is whenever I use it, I start pulling out the battery thing. So, you know, these are just small little stupid annoyances, but this is things that, you know, make me want to return the backpack and try a larger size where maybe there's a little space. I can't put a divider here. There's not enough dividers here. I can't really do much with this area other than just cram something in there. And then with this long divider, this is your main kind of divider. I would actually love to just push this thing forward, but because of the side panel, I cannot move this down lower than this and make this space smaller and give myself space at the top. So for me, there's just all these weird little areas that I cannot make work. But I will say the dividers are really cool. They feel very sturdy. They have interesting like little bends and things, so you can kind of add little like areas to your backpack. So even these ones have interesting little bends to them, and this, you know, is for the taper as well. So the divider is really cool, and they're thin too. So they're pretty sturdy. They're fairly soft. They feel very protective, but they're also very thin. So they're not those like thick dividers that are going to take up a lot of space. And I really, really love that aspect about this backpack, is how thin the dividers are. So there's a lot about this backpack that I totally love, but there's a few things that I just kind of like, I can't really get well, I can get around it, but I just can't make it useful to my day-to-day life, and that makes it, I guess, so I can't get around it. Has this interesting pocket. I like this thing, which you could sit on the side and use it as like a pouch to put lens caps in or something. You could also fold it up and use it as a whole other divider. Like I say, put some stuff in the sides here, I guess, but then you can also set it down sideways and have it as a divider in itself. So that thing's kind of interesting, kind of cool. I really like that. That's why I'm kind of leaning towards getting the BP10, because it'll have similar divider things, which I dig, and maybe a little more space. And from the videos I've seen, the BP10 does not have this taper. If I get it, I'll do another video and let you know. But I do want something without a taper, so then I can maybe just slide in lenses straight on and have it, you know, fit a little better. Anyway, so moving on, there's these. The other thing I think is another feature of the backpack is these little attachy thingies that help you so you're not gonna, like, the backpack's not gonna fall down, or your thing's not gonna, so you can see that, like, come unclipped. I don't know, I think they're totally useless. I'm not the type of person who's, I don't know, willy-nilly just opening their backpack. I set mine down thoughtfully, open it thoughtfully. I know there's lots of expensive things inside of it. And when I zip up my backpack, I try and zip it around to one side or the other. So I try not to zip it to the middle, because sometimes the zippers in the middle will come apart. And so anyways, for me, these things are kind of useless and they cannot be removed. BP10 looks like they can be removed, but if I were to keep this long term, I'd probably just cut these off. Right now what I've been doing is just putting a binder clip here and then just keeping them there, I guess. Works for now. You do have some of these mesh cases or mesh pockets. I wish they were a tiny bit thinner so you could see a little bit more what you have in here, but if it's your own case, you kind of generally know what you've got in here anyway. Then you have another pocket here for, they say, a tablet, and then you have another pocket here for a laptop. This 100% fits a 16-inch MacBook Pro. That's what I've been carrying in here. The one thing, again, is the more you load this up, the thicker things build out, and then they start compressing down on top of this stuff if you have a lot of stuff here. For me, I can fit my laptop in here, a couple of things in here, even these batteries here start pushing on the screen of this thing. So you generally probably can't fit a laptop, tablet, and stuff in here with thicker things. I guess if you have a mirrorless body, then you're probably more fine using this backpack. If I were to upgrade to mirrorless bodies, I think this backpack would actually be great for me, but I'm going to use my mirror or DSLRs for as long as I can. So oh, here's also one of the other things I was going to point out is it has this other pocket here that has kind of a flap that has the idea of those straps inside where it doesn't open all the way. You have two mesh pockets here. You have a zippered pocket as well, another pocket here. So I mean, there's so many pockets on this backpack, which I just freaking love. But so I have a tether cable and it has this big old bump thingy in the middle that, you know, I'm trying to carry around. As I load it in here, it's hard to actually have, because I try to keep these things in here as extra cables as backups, so I don't really want to get rid of them. But if I use these cables and I use the outer pocket, it means I have to shift the cables inside of the top, anything in this pocket to the bottom, and that means everything in the actual big pocket gets really compressed down into the camera system. So fitting the stuff that I want to in here is just kind of difficult, but I mean, I'm just, I guess, complaining, showing what I can't do, but there's a lot of space in here for, if you're just a smaller traveler, lighter gear, tons of space for you to carry things and items. But yeah, if you're carrying a lot of stuff, well, I guess if you're trying to replace a Pelican case, the BP09 won't do it for you. But overall, this is a fantastic backpack. I did not get sent this. I paid for this. Again, I'm going to return it. But for somebody who has seen this video and can see what their gear does, this is an amazing backpack. Just got tons of features, tons of pockets, durable, rugged. It's a great backpack. So there's my thoughts on it. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments field. I'll do my best to answer them. And thanks everyone for watching.